Felipe Nasr, you have been in Formula One cars, you've been in Formula E cars, and you've driven a bunch of different sports cars. But if I'm correct, this is your first time driving a Porsche prototype.
Exactly. It is my first time.
How does that feel compared to the DPi cars and the other prototypes in the past?
Well, obviously it's very different in terms of the regulations that the new hybrid cars have, especially when you compare to DPi. I would take DPi's had a little more downforce and lighter overall, because now we're carrying all the hybrid components in the car.
Sure.
But we have a lot more power in the 963 and all the LMDH hypercar cars you see. They can go up to 700 brake horsepower. So a good chunk more than DPi, so it requires a little different driving style, because I felt like DPi you could carry more speed into the corners, whereas now you kind of have to make use of the extra power on traction, and obviously you're going down the straight much quicker, so the braking markers are a little bit different.
Sure.
But two different styles. I like both. It just requires a little bit of a different personality to it.
And that's what I think the big thing is, that they're heavier, so especially in the lower speed corners,
exactly,
you feel that weight, right?
Yeah, because you cannot just carry that speed like you did in DPi and carry under braking and turn. Now you have to a little bit more of you choose the motion where the car wants to go. Like, you can't do all things together, so you kind of feel the extra weight more in the low speed stuff.
Now, when you were doing DPi, that was with Cadillac.
Yes.
How is it going from Cadillac to Porsche? How have those changes been?
Completely different operations, but both very strong, and they know what to do to win a championship. And I was lucky enough to win 2 championships in DPi with the past team that I had. And now moving forward, we're going into a new era. You know, it's great to see all the competition, different manufacturers, different drivers, and it's a really, I would say it's a prime time for sports car racing. When you look across the WEC Championship and the IMSA Championship, you always see more and more teams joining every year going by. So for me, it's a unique opportunity to be joining Porsche and Penske, 2 legendary names in motorsports, very successful, and my goal is to continue building history with them.
Yeah.
To put my name in history together.
Well, you said it exactly. I mean, it's not just Porsche, it's Penske, one of the most famous non-manufactured names in motorsport. So now Porsche and Penske combined, I mean, has that been a new experience, a new thrill? I mean, has it been at what you expected, better than you expected, not what you expected?
Oh, for sure. When I look at all the organization, the level of quality, professionalism of all engineers, mechanics, and the experience of everybody on board the program it's pretty cool to see that, and to feel you're part of it.
Yeah.
And to work with everybody has been very, very nice, you know, to get to know all of them from both sides, you know, from Porsche and Penske. And obviously the beginning of the year was more challenging for us, because you got to consider we built a new car, we put together a new team, new regulations. So for us to get all the understanding and optimizing the running of the car, optimizing our performance, you can see we have been progressing as the year went along, and now we are in that position that we are fighting for both the driver and manufacturer championship. So that's the good part of it, to be finally here, end of the year. Five cars are able to win the championship. So I think it's going to be quite an exciting final race for IMSA.
Absolutely. Now, going just a little bit farther, I mean, you went up in open wheel, you were at Sauber F1, 15, 16, you had a little bit of Formula E experience.
Yeah.
You looked to be IndyCar bound at one point. It has been sports cars for a few years now, but how was that transition from open wheel to sports cars?
Yeah, it's funny to look back, because my background has always been single-seaters, and that's what I spent most of my career, all the way from single-seater junior series to Formula One, Formula E, like you mentioned. and then I made the transition in 2018 for prototypes. For me, the main difference was just being on a closed cockpit car and not seeing the front tires. So getting used to that was the first thing. But the driving style for me, I would say, is the closest I ever got to, you know, single seater in a way. So and I've been enjoying it ever since. You know, I feel like I've been having a lot of fun. It's very competitive, and won several of the big races already. I want to add some more, and Le Mans is still one of my biggest goals to win, and obviously winning Daytona as well. This race for Penske and Porsche would be great.
And speaking of this race, you are in the number 7 car.
Correct.
You have a more outside chance than the number 6 car.
Yep.
How is this race? How do you look at this race? Is this, you're still going to go for the win, or is there a little bit more of a team aspect for the number 6 car?
Well, I would say the main goal is to get the team manufacturer. That's number 1, and then we're gonna do whatever we can to help the 6 win the championship. But again, we have 2 shots here. Both cars are in contention, and we have to be flexible how the race plays out, because it could be that, you know, if 6 doesn't have a chance anymore, we might put full focus on the 7 and vice versa. So we're pretty open on that. And again, it's going to be quite a fight out there, because manufacturers and drivers championship is still wide open. Like I said, 5 cars can win it, so we just got to execute.
Well, I have to say, you look really good in Porsche Penske colors.
Thank you.
I hope you're around for a while, Felipe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.